Welcome back, and today we are going to cover the complex number, part 1. In this video, we are going to talk about some basic knowledge about the complex number. Now, before talking about it, I want to introduce one symbol, I. I, we define it as square root of -1. And everything involved this I, not a variable. The complex number I, we call it as an imaginary number. Why? Because nothing will be the square root of -1. You can't have two numbers multiplying together and you result getting negative, except the imaginary numbers. So I is square root of -1, remember that. So I square is just 1, -1. I square is -1. And I cubed will be -1 multiplied by I, because this is I squared and this is I to the first power, so that it is -I. And then I to the fourth power will be 2 -1 multiplying together, which is 1. And now this repeats. I to the fifth power will equals to I, and I to the 6th is equal to -1. And I to the 7th, I to the 8th, 1, -I. This keep on repeating. And how do we present a complex number? We write down as the format as a plus bi, where a is the real part, which does not involve any I, and bi will be the imaginary part. A plus bi, for example, 3 plus 2i. This is already the simplified form, because we can add up them. One is real number, one is the imaginary one. Now let's talk about the absolute value of a plus bi. Absolute value of it. It is not a plus b. It is not. Instead, it is the square root of a squared plus b squared. Now, before explaining why, I have to tell you how to graph a complex number in a coordinate. Now, whenever we have the number including complex one, we no longer use the normal coordinate plane. We use the real number, imaginary number plane. And the y-axis is the imaginary one, and the x-axis is the real one. So I think you can already understand how it works. 3 is our real number, so that we put 3 here. And then 2 is the coefficient of I, so that it is 2. So this point where they intersect will be the 3 plus 2i. Now let's write down a triangle. Where the right angle is here, and then the absolute value of it, maybe the absolute value of it will be this hypotenuse. And finding this is not difficult. Just use the Pythagoras theorem, a squared plus b squared. The absolute value of a plus bi will just be the hypotenuse of the triangle. Now, this is the basic knowledge of the complex number. We will continue in the next video.